right, guys, can I have a show of hands of who in here are marketers? Yeah, that's like almost all of you, right? How many of you spent over 40 hours last week on marketing? Okay, a little bit less. That's good. Some of you are actually getting some sleep. What happens, I mean, imagine yourself in this scenario. I'm sure all of us have probably been in this situation where we have a major client deliverable. It's keyword research, and it's like Friday night, like all your friends are going out, and you're like, oh man, but I have this huge document that I have to deliver. I'm just going to kind of half-ass it. So actually, at that point, you have a decision to make. You can half-ass it, or you can just tell the client, be honest, be like, hey, I screwed up. I need to get it to you next week. But a lot of times, we're really boneheaded, and we spend a couple of hours on keyword research or whatever it happens to be, and we send it to the client, and we're like, okay, I've done my job, right? So what typically happens if you're this type of person that half-asses it is you will go to the AdWords tool, type in a couple of keywords, package it up, and send it to the client, be like, okay, I did my job, I'm good to go. What happens is you turn it into this D-bag. He is, the typical cheesy used car salesman kind of guy. And the reason that I put him up here and the connection between the two is because you have to think about the person that's actually doing this deliverable. So this guy, he probably has bills to pay. Maybe he has like student loans or something like that for his children. And so if he doesn't meet his quota, he's going to be screwed, right? He can't pay his bills. So what does he do? He tells you every single car in the lot is just for you, right? Because he needs to put you in something so he can pay the bills. And so what happens is that you become a reflection of the pressures that you're under. And so what happens is you come up with crap like this, right? Because you just need to make a quick buck. You need to tie up the keywords, put them in a bag, send them to the client, and then you need to sell because you need to make your goals. But the problem is that when you land at this site, do you really get the feeling that they give a crap about you? Like, they just want your money, right? And what typically happens is when you're lazy and you don't care about people, this is what happens, is you're so money-driven. And the thing is there are people behind the keywords that you're targeting. And so, sorry, went ahead a little bit. And so what I did here is I just typed in how to travel. I'm going to be talking about the travel space for a little bit. Typed in how to travel, and Will talks about this all the time, is just don't hit enter and see what comes up. And so I saw here how to travel with a cat. And typically when you think about the sphere of travel and you're trying to make money, you think about cheap travel, maybe travel to Europe or travel deals, but you never really think about this person, right? The pet lover that needs to travel with their cat or with their dog or whomever it happens to be. And so what I did was I took the suggest that Google gives you and I put it into a tag cloud. And what it does is it groups together similar keywords that appear more and more and more. And so as you can see here, you have baby, pregnancy, so you can create an audience around maternity and travel. You have cat and dog, so you have your pet lovers. And then you have light, maybe that's your inexperienced traveler. And so what you can do is create these segments of people, because again, like people use keywords. I mean, Google would not be around if no one actually used keywords and there's no one behind it. And so what we can do here is based on that little bit of information, that took me maybe like 2 minutes to pull all the suggest and put it in tag crowd and create some segments. And once you have an idea of who your audience is, that's when you can start developing content around them. And so I just wanted to drill down on the pet lover. And as you can see here, travel, cat makes total sense, right? Plane. So I started thinking about it, and wouldn't it be great if someone is searching, if they're a pet lover, and they need to travel, what are they going to do with their dog or cat? The person that wants to sell doesn't give a crap about that, right? But you do. So there is a need out there for a tool like that. What airline should you take if you're a pet lover? Wouldn't it be awesome if there was a way they could choose your airline based on the policy, their pet policy? Or, how far should you travel with your pet before you start thinking about maybe I should just leave the pet at home? Maybe it's going to cause too much stress on them. Or, how far should I drive in my car with my pet? Should I take potty breaks? I mean, like, these are the things that people are probably thinking about before they go on a trip. But the thing is that this is what people get. This is absolute garbage. Like, if you're trying to figure out how to travel with your pets, Google is ranking something, right? And you're at a forum thread. I mean, how helpful is this? It's not at all, right? Okay, so where does PPC fall into this? And so, I love SEO so much, but the thing is that it takes forever. It takes so long to do the keyword research, do the link building, do the on-page optimization, and maybe 6 months later it works. You tested a bunch of things. There's so many variables. You're not sure if you're targeting the right people. Whereas with PPC, if you segment out each of your audiences, so maybe there's one ad campaign for the maternity travelers. Maybe there's one for the pet lovers. And so what you have is a really fast feedback loop. So what you can do at the end of the day is put them into AdWords and then figure out okay, so I'm going to start building a relationship with these people. I'm not just trying to sell. So maybe what you should do is have this, which is a newsletter sign up. Just open that line of communication with them and stop trying to sell. Because at the end of the day, you're trying to build relationships with people, not just grab their money. I mean, that eventually happens, hopefully. Everyone needs to make a profit, but just starting to think about the people behind the keywords that you're trying to rank for. And so, you definitely want to include shopping on there. I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, you need to make a profit. So if someone wants to buy, a carrier case for their dog, offer it. I'm not shying away from money, but I'm just trying to kind of get across that you need to start building relationships with people. And so after you run your ad campaigns, maybe for 2 or 3 weeks, what you can start to do is have data on what audience you should be targeting. So for instance, the inexperienced traveler, maybe they convert really, really, really well. And so for the next 6 months, that is going to be the priority of your SEO campaign, because with PPC data, you can calculate, okay, if I were to rank on the first page for all of these keywords, I could potentially get this many visits, which at this conversion rate, I would make X amount of dollars. And so PPC gives you so much information that you can use to inform your SEO campaigns. Like I said, that's kind of the whole point of this, is using PPC to test out what you should be doing in SEO. And so at the end of the day, I really want you guys not to be this person. And I know that we're under a lot of pressure and a lot of stress, but not being a boneheaded idiot and just delivering crap to clients or even for yourself. Really trying to understand the person behind the keywords and trying to understand what their needs are and how you can meet them. I mean, we just looked at the travel space and a seriously under-met audience. I mean, no one is speaking to them. And so even a very competitive space, there's an opportunity to rank really well and hopefully build some relationships with people like this.